Good day, viewers. Today we are going to discuss how to design direct online starter. In the previous video, we talked about the operating principle of contactors and relays. And today, we want to now see the connection between our contactor, normally stop button, normally open button, and normally closed button, as well as the auxiliary contacts of the contactor. With me here is the contactor. Can you see? This plunger that I'm pushing here is the one that will close both the input and the output terminal of this contactor at the power side. Then here we have what we call energizing coil. This is the A1 and the A2 for the energizing coil. So you can see the A2 here, and this is the A1. If I want to energize this contactor now, I'm going to supply live and neutral at A1 and A2 respectively. After doing that, this contactor becomes energized and this plunger becomes closed to bridge the upper terminal and the lower terminal together in 1, 3, 5 and 2, 4, 6 respectively. So now let us see how the connection is made for a direct online starter. On the board here, you can see this is the wiring diagram. Here is the input, red phase, yellow phase, and the blue phase. Here, what you are seeing here represents our circuit breaker. This is a circuit breaker. This is a circuit breaker. Can you see it? This one is 4-pole, 3-phase, and neutral circuit breaker. So here now, this is the circuit breaker in the wiring diagram. Now, here, this is our contactor. This is our contactor. This is our contactor. What you are seeing here is the contactor, which is this one, which is this. Then here, this one is called magnetic overload. It is called magnetic overload. What is the function of the magnetic overload? Magnetic overload is a relay, a type of relay that saves our load anytime there is sudden rise in the value of current. So this magnetic overload is going to sense it and open the circuit to save the load. That is a magnetic overload. This one here is what you are seeing in the diagram here. It's what you are seeing in the diagram here. And here is the 3-phase induction motor. We are going to explain the control diagram for the direct online starter. Here you are seeing the phase. They are going to tap from any of the phase, red, yellow, or blue phase from the supply, and connect it to the normally close of the magnetic thermal overload. So the same normally close, the second terminal of it is going to be connected to the pin 1, that is terminal 1 of the normally closed switch, which is the stop button. So the other terminal of the stop button will be connected to the first terminal of the normally open switch, which is the start button. And the other terminal of the start button is going to connect it to the A1 of the contactor. This is the A1 terminal of the contactor here. This is the A1 terminal. So after that, the A2, which is here, is now going to be connected to the neutral. It's going to be connected to the neutral. But what happens is that anytime I push this switch, the current to flow from the line through the magnetic overload, through the stop button, which is normally closed switch, and to the start button. So through the start button, the current flows to the A1, and the coil of this magnetic contactor becomes energized, and the contactor power terminal becomes closed, just like this. So, and as soon as I release my hand from this switch, the circuit becomes opened. And when circuit becomes opened, what happens is that this contactor becomes open again. And as soon as I put my hand back here, the contactor also becomes closed. Anytime I release my hand from this switch, it goes back to the open condition. Now, to keep this contactor in closed condition, then there is need for us to make use of the auxiliary contact of the contactor. That is the normally open and the normally closed of the contactor. So in that case, we are going to tap from the terminal 1 of the normally open switch and connect it to the normally open contact of the contactor. You can see here, this is the normally open of this contactor, and this is the normally close of this contactor. We are going to pick from this normally open and connect it. We pick from pin line, and the other end of the normally open contact of the contactor is connected to the other terminal of the start button. And in this case now, these are both linked to A1. This is now how it works. Once you pull this switch, once you push it, the circuit will close and the current will flow to the A1. Since A2 has been connected to the neutral, then this coil becomes energized. And as soon as it's energized, the contacts here are going to close. Once they close, the current flow from all the three phases to the load, and our three-phase induction motor starts running. And as soon as you release your hand from here, the circuit becomes open. But the motor will continue to run in the sense that the normally closed contact of the contactor is already bypassed from the start button. So from here, the current will no longer flow through this part, but from here down to A1, and the contactor is kept in closed condition, and the electric motor continues to run, So the constructional video of it is what I'm going to attach immediately after this explanation. Just sit back and relax and see how we are going to do the connection and test. Then at the end of the day, we are going to learn how to connect a direct online starter. Thank you.